So, Guy Adami, will the AI trade continue to push demand for the copper miners?
Well, it's not just AI and copper, but yeah, Steve talked about this a couple weeks ago. Tim has been talking about it for a while. Freeport should actually be a lot higher. I think copper prices are up. What's today? Well, October what?
8th.
12% already this month. I think up 27% for the year, back above $5 a pound. Yeah, copper's going higher. Now, we can talk about whether it's inflationary or not. It's probably the most important commodity, not named crude oil, but things are moving up. Now, how that moves the needle in terms of what the Fed's doing in inflation is anybody's guess. But I'll tell you, names like Freeport, which is still too cheap, in Southern Copper, I think are going higher.
The weird thing, Steve, is I'm trying to figure out what changed here because the AI demand story is not new. The electricity demand story is not new. And it's like the market suddenly kind of woke up and realized that demand for copper was going to go up. Where's the market been?
Right. So you had tariffs. You had that headline back in August 1st, not the original tariff day, the one with copper, the one with more commodities. But think about this. Data centers. Originally a data center. What do you think a data center for AI uses in copper more than originally a data center uses? 3 to 10 times the amount of copper.
Wow.
So I think people thought it was a copper play. They didn't realize to what magnitude a copper play is. Plus, that mine with FCX, that's 3% of the supply globally. Yep. Just the one mine. So you have demand going through the roof. You have supply going to the basement. Those two things are a recipe for higher prices. It can go on longer than people think, because it's taken a while to get the trade going.
Karen, are you a fan of Freeport, McMahon, BHP, or others?
Well, the Freeport thing's sort of interesting. 3% is offline. It is their 3%, which obviously you know. But so I understand, though, this supply dynamic is shrinking. And, of course, prices. I'm wondering, Steve, you might have an answer to this. We've seen a bunch of these investments by the government in, you know, whether it's magnets, MP, or lithium, whatever. Why would Freeport be a potential target for the U.S. government?
Yeah, and that's why I've held on to my position, because I think eventually there is going to be some sort of a government stake within it, because it is 70 to 75% of Freeport's revenue is from copper. 25 to 30% is from gold. So you get both the things that are very strong. I think the government is going to look at them as a strategic stake. I know nothing. That's what I think. That's why I'm staying in there.
Yeah, but it's on trend. And I think Freeport gets a lot of the attention right now. But there are other players in the space for sure. BHP, Rio to boot. I think BHP, you're talking about kind of like the revenue segmentation. If you look at EBITDA, BHP, it's like 45% of their EBITDA is driven from copper. And then if you take Rio, if you want to kind of play the catch-up trade, which we're starting to see, that's really why this rally has sustained and had legs, because there has been this catch-up type of mechanism there. So if you want to play, you know, it's a higher beta play, a riskier play, but it's also a restructuring and post-litigation play. Rio actually looks pretty interesting there. I think it's kind of flying under the radar. It's not getting the attention. Clearly, FCX is probably like your highest leverage play to copper, and clearly that's going to drive the headline risk. But if you're looking for another way to play it, I would look at those other two.